lose my wonder. May I never lose my wonder. May I never lose my wonder. Go ahead and sing that with me. May I never lose my wonder. 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 Wide-eyed and mystified, may I be just like a child, staring at the beauty of the world. May I never lose my wonder. 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 My heart is open, I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open, I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. May we never lose our wonder. 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 Wide-eyed and mystified. Wide-eyed and mystified, may I be just like a child, staring at the beauty of the world. May I never lose my wonder. 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 My heart is open. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. My heart is open. I am awake. There is a knowing of love, love, love. Oh, let me feel inner peace from the center of me. It's amazing how that peace and that wonder can go together. May we never lose our wonder. May we never lose our wonder. May we never lose our wonder. May we never lose our wonder.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you, Kit. Wonderful start to our service today. Yes, may we never lose our wonder. But for me right now, I am working to bring wonder back. I was thinking about a time, maybe you had a time like this in elementary school, or maybe the kids in your classroom were nicer than the kids in mine. But it probably was first grade, maybe. And someone was going to sit down, some child was going to sit down, and another child, unbeknownst to that child, pulled the chair out from behind them, and so they fell onto the ground. They had the chair pulled out from behind them. And everybody laughed. I didn't laugh, but a lot of people laughed. And I sort of feel that way today. And I don't know if you feel that way too. But here in the state of Washington, where I'm standing, we're about to hear an announcement from our governor that will likely shut down much of the operations that had opened up over the last few months because there's been a tremendous upsurge in cases of COVID-19. And so that's hard. That's hard, I think, for the businesses and the business owners. It's hard for those of us who are enjoying a very small measure of freedom in our movement, in our ability. It's just hard. And hard seems to be the word that most people apply to the year 2020. So I was thinking about that. And one of my favorite people to turn to when I'm in a kind of a glum mood is Hafiz, who is that wonderful Sufi poet. And he has a poem called Pulling Out the Chair. And it goes like this: pulling out the chair beneath your mind and watching you fall upon God. What else is there for Hafiz to do? Pulling out the chair beneath your mind and watching you fall upon God. What else is there for Hafiz to do? So I was like, okay, yeah. Let's see. How do we turn this turn of events, this hard, into something that is spiritual? And the topic today has to do with that. It's called To Bless the Space Between Us, which is the title of one of John O'Donohue's books that is specifically addressing blessings, although his whole life was a blessing, I think, as he grew into himself. So I was thinking about the blessings that are possible for us, and I was also thinking about hard. And I was, all of a sudden, I remembered this. I brought show and tell today since we're talking about elementary school. And I don't know if you can see this, but it's a little piggy bank. And it was hand painted by my grandmother when she was probably 17 or 18 years old. And it says on the top, "Save for Victory." And these piggy banks were part of a large encouragement for the population of the United States to save money during World War I. And she was a girl who, when she was 3 or 4, the Spanish flu had ripped through our country. She didn't have it. None of her people died. But then just, a mere 10, 15 years later, World War I began. And so my grandmother was familiar with hard. She was familiar with Michigan winters, where her father had to go and actually carve out a cave from their back door to the barn so that the cows could be milked. She was familiar with hard. And so I lean on people like Hafiz and my grandmother to help me understand hard now and what to do in it. And so as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about blessing and wonder and realizing that the spiritual path that Hafiz was indicating, whenever a chair is pulled out from underneath our mind and we fall upon God, there's a path there, there's a way, there's an invitation. And so I turned to John O'Donohue today, and I wanted to read you just a little piece that he wrote in his book about blessing. And it really caught me, so I hope it catches you. I'm not going to read you a whole bunch, although the whole chapter is beautiful. But this is what he says. Despite all the darkness, human hope is based on the instinct that at the deepest level of reality, some intimate kindness holds sway. This is the heart of blessing. To believe in blessing is to believe that our being here, our very presence in the world, is itself the first gift, the primal blessing. As Rilke says, and I can't do the German, but I'll try, Hier zu sein ist so viel. To be here is immense. To be here is immense. Nowhere does the silence of the infinite lean so intensely as around the form of a newly born infant. Once we arrive, we enter into the inheritance of everything that has preceded us. We become heirs to the world. To be born is to be chosen. To be created and come to birth is to be blessed. Some primal kindness chose us and brought us through the forest of dreaming until we could emerge into the clarity of individuality and with a path of life opening before us through the world. I thought that was so beautiful. That part about to be here is immense. Nowhere does the silence of the infinite lean so intensely as around the form of a newly born infant. We come and we are preceded by an inheritance. So I don't know if you feel that way. I know that I do sometimes touch the truth of that statement. First of all, it is an amazing primal blessing to be here, which for many of us, it's hard to remember in this time. And so let this serve as a reminder from me to you, from heart to heart and mind to mind, that although it's difficult, although there are things that we're facing in our personal lives, in the life of our towns and cities, our society and the world, although it is difficult, there is something that has brought us here through, what did he say? It was an amazing saying, the forest of dreaming. That's his vision of where we are before we arrive here as a babe. So something brought us here, and I don't believe in accidents in that way. And so I think that you and I are here, and you're listening to me because you have an interest in the spiritual path and what to do in times like these. And so as I was thinking about this, I was thinking that one of the difficulties that I'm seeing, maybe you are too, is that there has risen up in this time tremendous distrust of everything and everyone, tremendous distrust of the information we're receiving from all different sides, tremendous distrust of certain groups of people or parties of people or individuals, tremendous distrust. And this distrust has allowed us to fall out from one another. That's the old Irish way of saying having an argument is you fall out with someone. And we've fallen out with trust, some of us. And so I was thinking, well, what is the spiritual antidote to that? What is it that we can do to reach people who are distrustful of us, maybe even, or what we think or what we believe? And I was thinking, well, the only way that I know is the way of blessing. And so let me tell you about that. So in our tradition, the Science of Mind philosophy, there's an understanding that our word has power, and that our word is not only the spoken word that we say out loud, which is a very powerful form of our power, but our word is also our thoughts and actions. These comprise our word in the world, how we send forth from the power that we are, the primal blessing that we are, our intention and what we believe and hold to be so. And so for me, I am looking deeply at my thoughts, my words, and my actions to make sure that what I'm sending out into the world is something that is a blessing, not a curse. And so for me, you know, I have people in my life, maybe you do too, that are hateful about political leaders or different systems of being, or they're operating from ideas that are filled with fear and anger and hatred. And I actually have people in my life that are evidencing this through their word. Now, if you were to ask them, are you hateful? They would probably say, no, I'm just reporting the facts as I see them, or something like that. And I need you to know that my way of living the spiritual life is to make sure that my words, my thoughts, and my actions in no way could curse another human being, another expression of life. Does this mean that I'm therefore namby-pamby about my own views or what course of action to take? No, not at all. What it does mean is that there is a practice in spiritual living of becoming very skillful with how we implement our understanding of what the next right step would be. And never do we need to put someone out of our heart, nor do we need to curse someone for that to take place. And so blessing, the power of blessing, to bless the space between us, has to do with the old Irish notion, the Celtic notion really, because it was vaster than Ireland, the island, was the understanding that because of the power of our word in thought, in spoken word, and in action, we have the opportunity at every occurrence, at every threshold of expression, to be the place that blesses the space between one way and another, between one human and another, between one that has fallen out with another, with anything and everything that could have occurred or is occurring. There's an opportunity for us to use the power of our word to bless, to heal, to lift, to open, to become the place where possibility is spoken into the space. And I know you know this, and you can hear my passion in this because it's so critically important right now. Why? Because it's hard. We're in a threshold land, a place where we are not through with many things, and we need to be blessing the space rather than cursing one another in this time, so that the highest idea for all humankind, for the planet, for every species, for everything can be made manifest. And it takes all of us. I think you're hearing this from me a lot right now. It takes all of us activating the power of our blessing word, our blessing actions, our blessing thoughts, to counteract those that are being put into the world that would divide, that would create fear and avoidance of one another. You know, it's as simple as this, really. Walking. There are many of us that are out walking. And walking the other day, I was walking with my husband, and we were out on a dike doing bird watching. And there were a lot of people out there. There were a lot of bird watchers with incredible spotting scopes, and there were also a lot of hunters. And they had their camouflage on and their rifles over their shoulders, and many of them had, you know, decoys in bags and things like that. And they were going out beyond the safety zone to hunt the birds that we were watching. And it would be easy to, with our masks on or off, with our intentions being different, to not create a space of blessing. And I made an intention to look into every person's eye who would meet mine and say hello that morning, to say, how are you? To wave, to be a presence of blessing without the judgment or without anything in the way. It's a small thing, right? It didn't make a difference maybe, but maybe it did. Maybe it did. And I don't mean that they do my agenda. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how do we build trust between so many different types of people with different agendas, with different ways. And we do that by blessing the space, by being filled with the wonder of having human form, of having this incredible life. That's what we do. And we see that for other people as well. I don't know about you, but there are many, many days that go by when I have forgotten the wonder of life. And that's a tragedy for me, because none of us know if we're going to be here tomorrow or a year from now or 5 years from now or 20 years from now. We don't know. And so every day that passes, if it's just a day and we haven't really come into ourselves and held the power that we have in a way that will allow us to be present, we miss an opportunity, perhaps the last one, to kiss a loved one, to say hello to a stranger, to open the door for someone, to be the place where in our minds we're literally doing a prayer as we pass an accident. I don't want to miss those opportunities to bless. And so I'm suggesting that the way we heal the divisiveness that has come upon us, the mistrust, the way we heal the different factions and divides of our lives, inward and outward, is that we begin to embrace our power and to use it very intentionally and very skillfully to bless self, space, other, so that we come into a place where, as John O'Donohue says, we experience each day as a sacred gift, woven around the heart of wonder. So I'm going to do a prayer for that, and we'll close. And if you have any time this week to bless, specifically and skillfully, any of the divides in your life, I encourage you to do that. So here is a prayer for that. The truth of the matter is that there is no sacred human alive that was not brought here out of the forest of dreaming into this sacred life to offer the gift of being who they are. I accept for myself, and I know for anyone who would choose this prayer, an intention to lift my mind and heart into a place where I see the sacred gift of this life more often than not. And particularly when the chair has been pulled out from under me in some way, and I'm falling into the lap of God, Spirit, the One, the quantum field of all possibility, I remember the sacred opportunity of utilizing the power that I have been gifted to speak and know the highest truth that I can muster in every moment, to bless the spaces between me and all others, to call forward the good, the kindness, the intimacy of the indwelling one, and to live from that place over and over, knowing, as my grandmother knew, that in investing in kindness and care for one another, we lift ourselves into a place where war becomes an opportunity to know our humanity with one another. I'm grateful knowing that today. I hold this in heart and mind as I release this word to do its amazing work in me. I am filled with wonder, and so it is. And I'm filled with wonder for many reasons on this day. One is that a friend of mine here in our community has agreed to tell you a little bit about why she gives to this community and why this community is important to her. So I'm going to have you listen for a moment to my friend Phyllis Schachter.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, knowing that I'm part of this community. I have always been drawn to community ever since I was a little girl. I liked going to school. I liked playing with my friends. I liked living in my neighborhood. I liked going to summer camp. And all of those things represented community to me. And I moved to Bellingham 16 years ago with my husband at the time, who is no longer alive. And after 2 or 3 weeks of living here and unpacking, we kind of looked at each other and said, now what? We need to meet some people. And we went to a beautiful building, and we shared an evening with about 12 other people doing dances of universal peace. And at the end of the evening, my husband turned and said, where are we? What is this beautiful place? And we found out that we were standing in the sanctuary, the Center for Spiritual Living. And he soon found out that there was a band and they needed a keyboard player, and he wanted to be part of the band, and he was a keyboard player. And so we got involved, not really quite knowing what we were getting involved with. And we were delighted to soon know that we were part of a very wonderful community. And years went by, and about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years later, my husband became sick. And he had a serious illness, and he did pass away. And this community just represented and continues to represent to me every single day living love. It was the safest place, this community, going to CSL was the safest place for me to go, where I could just relax and be myself, and was welcome every day, every time I was there. And so I'm part of this wonderful community. And over the years, I've taken classes. I've met wonderful people. I continue to do that. And there's an energy that's bigger than myself that I'm part of. It personifies the values that I cherish and live by. And even through the COVID experience, I'm amazed. I still feel the connection. I think Andrea has done an extraordinary job in holding this community together, along with many, many helpers right behind her and by her side. And our spiritual philosophy is very strong, and it's in alignment with my values and my philosophy. And so I've been part of this community for 16 years. To tell you the truth, I can't really imagine not being part of it. And so I contribute. This is not something that I've done before. I never contributed financially to a spiritual community before. And it took me quite a while to understand the connection to my contribution, both financially and through my actions and deeds and thoughts, that I would be paid back many times more than what I gave. And so I contribute, and I'm very grateful to be part of this community. I love meeting new people, and I can hardly wait till we're all together again, and I can give people real hugs and warm hellos rather than just virtual hugs. So that's why I'm here to share this story with you.
Thank you, Phyllis. So why did I have Phyllis speak? We're in the middle of what's called the Giving Intention Month, and it's an opportunity for me to share with you the 2021 budget a little bit, and invite you, if you feel so inclined, to join the Giving Intention program. So I'm going to have my wonderful sound tech put up a screen that shows you, while I'm talking, what we're looking at in terms of 2021. So 2021 is an incredibly unpredictable year, isn't it, in so many ways. And so we decided that we would go with an extremely conservative budget, with the hope that we could continue to maintain the lovely services and all the things that we're offering, and pay for everything that the expenses don't go away even if nobody's here. So we are, if you look at the 2021 Giving Intention goals, we're looking for donations of $178,000. That really is kind of the bare minimum that we need in order to operate efficiently and well. And our expenses every month total about $18,000 a month. And that's with a very stripped down budget, with nothing else added particularly. And so 18,000, I'm looking at the slide, and $77 is kind of the breakdown of what we end up paying month by month on a regular basis. So what is the Giving Intention program, in case you're not familiar with it? Well, every year we ask people to consider signing up for a year commitment to a particular pledge to the center. And if you're part of the National Public Radio crowd, you know this well. They're doing fun pledge drives all the time. We do it once a year. And then we don't talk about money very much at all after that, which is one of the refreshing things for me about this program. Having been a minister for over 35 years, I like not having to talk about money. So what the Giving Intention program involves is there's this form that is on the website, and it's fillable on the website. You can do that and just fill that out and click the button and submit it. You can download it and fill it out if you need to think about it, which I encourage you to do if you need to think about it. And also for many of us, we received in our newsletter, the Giving Intention newsletter, a printed out form. These are also available in the center office if you want to swing by during our very limited office hours, although we may have to shut down now that I think about it. In any case, by December 1st, we hope to hear from any of you who would be willing to support our center in 2021 with whatever level of giving contribution you can. We know that your life circumstances may have changed, your life circumstances may be the same, and we want to invite you to give at whatever level you can give to assist us in keeping this beautiful place available and open as we move toward, know with me now, opening back out of a pandemic into a life that certainly will not be what it was, but will be new and fresh with people here in the sanctuary. If you would like to give, I'd love you to fill that form out, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about what you'll find on that form, and then I'll tell you some other announcements and get off this topic. We are also contributing to community outreach endeavors. One that I'm very proud of is our Laundry Love program, which has been going for a number of years now. Our community came together, looked at what was not being offered in our community, realized that laundry services were few and far between for people who were experiencing homelessness, and that not only was it a service that we could fund and be a part of, but it would also help people to apply for jobs. It would eliminate a lot of the strewn clothing in the encampments, and possibly be an environmental benefit as well. So we started the program. It's an inexpensive program. We have since partnered with Opportunity Council, who puts us in touch with people that they know are experiencing homelessness, and we are able to contribute to their dignity and their self-esteem through laundry. So laundry is one of the community outreach things you're going to see on this form. You're also going to see a renovation fund optional. And what is that? Well, we realize that to reopen, we're going to be doing some major renovation work in terms of our filtration systems and making this place very, very healthy and safe for everyone that will come in years to come. And in getting bids for a filtration system that would do that, we're looking at thousands of dollars, thousands. So any donation you would like to make to the renovation fund after you've committed to the general fund, which is where most of our need is, we would deeply appreciate that. So that's it for the Giving Intention program today. I wanted to thank Phyllis for speaking. And we have 2 more weeks of the program, and then we'll wrap it up. In the meantime, here are some announcements that I'd love you to know about. We have, of course, the sunshine meditations that are going through the rest of November on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. They're offered by a graduate of the Barbara Brennan School of Healing, a retired practitioner, and a board member. And they are on Zoom, so you will need the Zoom link. And those are included in our announcements that we send out online. If you aren't receiving those announcements, we send those out once a week. And if you'd like to receive them, please let us know by contacting the center office, and we'll send those to you. But they're 9 o'clock the next 2 Sundays of this month. At the end of this month, on Sunday, November 29th, from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're going to be having another Zoom event. Most of them are these days. And this one is very interesting. It's a death cafe. And you're invited to come, bring a cup of tea, and share in various groups, breakout groups, things that you have interest in terms of talking about death. It sounds a little macabre, but actually it's an opportunity to demystify and no longer be afraid of this topic. And we'd love you to come and be a part of it. Also, you may know that we've been having morning prayers with our practitioner staff Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Those are a Zoom thing. If you need the Zoom link, please contact the center office and we'll get those right to you. And I'm really delighted that we're having a winter solstice Zoom experience. It's a hybrid one because we'll have fires outside that people will be able to participate in if they would like. We're having a Christmas Eve sharing. We're having, as always, a World Healing Meditation on December 31st at 4 a.m. This is a synchronized meditation around the world. And we're also having a New Year's Day retreat with me on Zoom. So you have lots of options coming up to get involved and be a part of. And what's lovely about all this Zoom stuff is that we're inviting people from all over to come and be a part of it. And you're invited. We'd love you to be a part of it. For now, I'm going to turn you back over to Amber to close us out with a wonderful song. Thank you for your donations now in the Giving Intention program and for your presence.
Thank you, Andrea, for your message today. Oh, let's sing out into this beautiful day. It looks like the sunshine came out here in Bellingham. Gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, I won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Let's sing that again. Gonna climb this mountain, I won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, I won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing us down, leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, living in this courage I found. The sky is calling, gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. No doubt about it, I won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time. Leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, living in this courage I found. The sky is calling, leave behind what's weighing me down, wash away what's holding me back. My heart is falling, face forward, feet on the ground, living in this courage I found. The sky is calling, gonna climb this mountain, won't stop till I get to the top, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. You all have a wonderful week. So blessed that you're here joining us today, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everyone.